Reset? Does reset things?
No, I'm okay. It's okay now. Okay, friends, that's the problem I had. You see, this comes on for no reason. And how do I get rid of that?
You just click.
There's no X for it, you know.
You just click in your real screen.
Oh,
You just click it.
wunderbar.
Next to it.
Oh, I always had a problem with that. I didn't know it was so easy.
Yeah. Sometimes things
Okay. Okay, friends, so let's go ahead and begin with chanting Namo Tassa and the three refuges for those who like to join that. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Welcome, friends, to this Wednesday evening Dhamma discussion and meditation practice. So I hope you're all able to read through the Sabhasava Sutta that I sent out the link to it on Monday. And so I'm going to go to that share the screen now. I hope I can. I'm having this problem again. I don't know why. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. So Sabhasava Sutta means all of the defilements. And so this is a sutta that the Buddha gave to the monks about how to restrain and overcome all of the defilements, which are in the Pali word is asava. Now we've talked quite a bit about the right view in the last several weeks. We've been going over right view, and so part of right view is understanding what the defilements are. So the defilements, basically the three roots of all defilements are greed, hatred, and delusion. Now, all the other, like the 10 unwholesome actions, come out of greed, hatred, and delusion. And of course, it's greed, hatred, and delusion which keeps our mind bound in the web of suffering and repeated births, or just keep on circling around in the samsara. So the whole practice of Dhamma is about overcoming the defilements. And of course, that's the Noble Eightfold Path, is really the Buddha's teaching on how to overcome the defilements. But these specific ways include more than just, say, like meditating, as we'll see, very practical ways, because our defilements are very deeply ingrained in the unconscious mind. And it's not easy to get to them, as most people know. So, what are the defilements that should be giving up? The first one is said, defilements given up by seeing. Now, in short, this seeing means the attainment of entering the stream, because the defilements are only really overcome by attaining the 4 stages of enlightenment. So the deeper meaning of this given up by seeing means attaining stream entry. But before one reaches stream entry, then it's about developing wise attention and unwise attention. So it says, the unlearned ordinary person who has not seen the noble ones, nor skilled in the teaching of the noble ones, they don't understand which things they should apply the mind and which things they should not apply the mind to. So the average person applies their mind to things that they shouldn't apply it to, and they don't apply the mind to things that they should apply it to. And then, so what are the things which they apply the mind to but should not? And so whatever we do, whatever we look at or interact with or think about, or whatever gives rise to the unarisen defilements, that means whatever you do, if it causes greed, hatred, or delusion to arise in your mind, or any of the spin-offs of greed, hatred, and delusion, like attachment, aversion, ego, and so on, then these are the things that one should not apply their mind to. Because by applying the mind to, the unarisen defilements grow. They arise and they grow. So again, and this specifically mentions the 3 defilements of sensual desire, desire to be reborn, and the ignorance. So those are the 3 things that they apply their mind to, but should not. Now, of course, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to be reborn. But they're thinking about lifetime to lifetime rebirth. But this desire to be reborn means the desire to strengthen your habits, because that's the real rebirth. Every time you strengthen a habit, it's going to be reborn again. That means it's going to arise again in the future. So that's one way a meditator should understand the idea about rebirth. It's our mind being reborn from moment to moment. You do things one day, then you go to sleep. Then you wake up in the morning the next day and you remember what you did yesterday, and so you repeat those things. That's being reborn again. That means your habits and your actions are repeating themselves. So that's the sort of deeper meaning of rebirth. I mean, if people don't believe in lifetime to lifetime rebirth, they should at least believe in this type of rebirth. The rebirth of our habits from moment to moment, by strengthening them, by paying attention, repeating them. So that's applying your mind to things they should not apply. And not applying the mind to what they should apply to. And what are the things to which they do not apply the mind, but they should? It's the things that do not give rise to defilements, and to give up the defilements if they arise. So there's two things. The defilements arise in our mind, but then you have to give them up. And so, you might not have anger right now. So that's an unarisen defilement, but it's waiting there under the surface for the right condition to trigger it off. And so that unarisen defilement arises, and if you repeat it, then they get stronger. So, and so one should understand that what are the things that give rise to suffering, and what things to pay attention to that lessen suffering. So, like particularly the precepts. If you're following the 5 precepts, so if the desire to tell a lie comes in the mind because it would be easier to tell a lie, or you get something from that, then people do that. But instead, one should not apply the mind to that thought about telling the lie or any other precept. So that's part of the seeing. By seeing these intentions that are arising in your mind and knowing what is a skillful one and what is an unskillful one. You can see, so because of applying the mind to what they should not, and not applying the mind to what they should, unarisen defilements arise and arisen defilements grow. And then he gives the example of how they apply the mind irrationally. Did I exist in the past? Did I not exist in the past? What was I in the past? How was I in the past? After being what did I become in the past? Will I exist in the future? Will I not exist in the future? Of course, the average person is not really, normally asking, those kind of questions. But, it's their confusion about why were they born in the first place? And what's going to happen to them after death? Those are good questions to ask if you're sincere in trying to find the reason for it. But anyway, but these are questions in the Buddha's day that a lot of people were asking. So, but basically it's the Four Noble Truths. To keep it simple, this is the main thing one should apply their mind to. This is suffering, this is the origin of suffering, this is the cessation of suffering, and this is the practice that leads to the cessation of suffering. And as they do so, they give up 3 fetters. The fetter of the self-belief, the belief in some eternal, permanent self or soul that is going to be with you forever and ever. And then doubts about the Dhamma, and the attachment to rites and rituals. So these are the defilements should be given up by seeing, and that's why those are only given up when you attain stream entry. Now, a lot of people, they may not be attaining stream entry anytime soon. They may not be practicing enough meditation, perhaps, to be reaching that level of, entering the stream or destroying those 3 fetters. So these other ones, number 2, through 7, these are ones that help to reach that, that level of attaining the stream entry. So the defilements given up by restraint. So this means restraining the faculty of the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And so that if you don't have that restraint of the eye, it will be attracted by beautiful objects and repelled by ugly objects. And then thoughts and karma connected with that sensual desire or that aversion will rise up and then, cause you more, problems, make those habits stronger. So it's called Indriya Samvara, means guarding the sense faculties. So if you know you have a weakness for looking at things like certain kinds of magazines and so on to, get excitement, you restrain yourself. You don't go out and look at those things. Or go to other places that stimulate your, either desire or aversions. But that the restraint is the mindfulness. And so usually when people see things, they see it according to how they experienced in the past. And they look for the beauty in the object because they're remembering. Or what your society thinks are the norms for beauty, especially in these Western consumer societies. They have this idea, what is beauty? And it's related to basically just the skin deep, right? And so people are attracted to these surface appearances of things, and then desire and lust arises from it, or aversion to, what they consider ugly things. And, much of our life is going back and forth with reacting toward what we think is brings us pleasure through the eye, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, and what brings us aversion. Because we don't have that restraint, the urges that come up very quickly. So basically, it's the practice of mindfulness is the way that helps us build that restraint. So if you know you're starting to look at something that stimulates your senses either with lust or desire or anger or hatred, then stop looking at it. Restrain yourself. So for the distressing and the feverish defilements that might arise in someone who lives without restraint, they don't arise when there is such restraint. So mindfulness and wisdom is the most powerful way for restraining the senses, because it's about the mind. It's about the unconscious tendencies. We're not just doing that on the spot. The reason anger arises because it's already accumulated in your unconscious mind, and it will come out whenever the conditions are right.
Bhante, can you make your letters a little bit bigger?
I don't know how. I mean, I used to do it. There used to be a little plus sign to make the thing bigger, but it's not. And that's why these things always change, and I know there's a way to do it, but anyway, that's why I'm reading it. Anybody have any clues on how to make it bigger, the print on this?
I think control panel is good too.
Well, people can do it on their own
Yes,
computer.
later we will do that.
Okay. Okay, now so far we've covered these first two ways of overcoming the defilements. Does anybody have any questions about these first two before we go on, to the next ones? Okay, there's something that come up in the chat. What qualities does a true man, person, or noble one have? And does he or she have to be a bhikkhu or bhikkhuni? No, it refers to somebody who's attained at least the first stage of enlightenment, or any of those 4 stages of enlightenment, especially the third and the fourth stages would be the more stronger ones, but even Sotapanna. And no, they don't have to be a monk or a nun. Although to become an arahant, there's some, people say that, you have to be a monk to be an arahant, but that could be debatable. Anyway, so, but it means the true person, a noble one, Arya Pugala. The Pali word for a noble one is Arya Pugala. And that refers to the Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, or Arahant. That means the 4 stages of enlightenment. Okay, any other questions on those first 2 sections? Any golden hands arise? Okay. Now the third one, this is very practical. Defilements given up by using them. And this refers to like the monks, the 4 requisites. But even lay people use the 4 requisites. I mean, that means their clothes, the clothes they're wearing, the food they eat, the lodgings, the houses and beds they use, and the medicines that they take. So these are the essentials of anybody's life, unless you're a aborigine in the wilds of somewhere. And people get attached to these things, of course. So, and there's defilements can arise, like the clothes you wear. People want to, have nice clothes because of society, so you want to look nice, and so they have to be clean and pressed because the way society is developed, if you come to work, wear the same thing more than 2 days in a row, people look at you strange, right? And so people think they have to have closets full of clothes, but like us monks, we wear the same thing every day, and so you reflect on what is the purpose of wearing the clothes. So this is especially for monks. And when they get ordained, they are supposed to, every time they use the robes, eat the alms food, or use their lodging, they're supposed to reflect that these clothes are only for the sake of warding off the cold and heat, warding off the touch of flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, and reptiles, and for covering up the private parts, or modesty. So we don't use them to impress others or get followings or things like that, because that increases your, sense desire and so on, catching up with the Joneses, right? All these fads, when we were young, I speak from my own experience. When I was young as a teenager, there was Madras shirts came into vogue, so everybody wanted to have a Madras shirt or striped pants or bell bottoms or Birkenstock sandals, all these things. And so, especially teenagers, they want to fit in with the crowd. So, anyway, they get influenced by that. So anyway, we reflect on that we use these things for that purpose. And then the food. We use the food just to keep the body healthy enough so that all the systems of the body, like metabolism and immune system, can work in the proper way to minimize, various types of sufferings and so on. But not to eat the food to become fat or build muscles and or develop attachments to it, or to overeat and get sick from it, and so on. So this is part of restraining the faculty by reflecting. Oh, wait a minute! I came up by the. I went back to the restraining. So using. So you can read the meanings of that. So the food, the lodgings, the clothing. It means living simply, to keep it simple, to live simply without wanting to, make life more difficult. People want to have closets full of clothes, and they have to either work hard to get the money to buy them because they're expensive, or they don't have them. They feel sad, they might go out and try to steal them. So, there's so much, and the same for any of these requisites. So to learn what is to live simply and just to use the minimum, to get bound up in the world of competition and everything else. That's what gets the mind all caught up in the so-called rat race, right? Now we have to do that to some extent to live, most people, lay persons, but it's just a way to not to be too influenced by all this madness of consumer stuff and all the advertisements, you can't live without this thing and that thing. And now, white teeth, you have to get perfectly white teeth, so you have to buy all these things and so on. But this is all, just conditioning of society. And it creates a lot of problems and defilements. So, okay. By reflecting, we have to use those, but reflecting on them wisely so that they don't cause us unnecessary, make those defilements arise. And then there's the defilements given up by enduring. And this is also a good one. And what are the defilements that should be given up by enduring? So people endure the heat, endure the cold, endure hunger and thirst, endure the touch of flies, mosquitoes, the wind, the sun. They endure rude and unwelcome criticism. They put up with physical pain, sharp, severe, acute, unpleasant, disagreeable, and life-threatening. So that means they develop patience to, endure that. And in meditation, that's really a training ground. That's why we say in meditation, don't move in meditation. But when you have pains arise, learn how to observe the pains, relax around them, reflect on them, and know that you don't always have to remove especially itches and little stinging sensations and discomforts that might arise on the body while you meditate. This is the real training ground. This is one of the best ways to develop this enduring. Endure that itch longer, because it's not going to kill you. You observe it. You see how the itch is, it arises, it lasts a few seconds, it lasts a few minutes. You observe how the mind is tensing up, the urge to scratch, and you say, and you keep relaxing around it. No, it's impermanent. It will pass. And so you develop that ability to endure. And so in meditation especially, it's a good training ground. And then endure other things, like endure the heat a little bit more. Don't always want to have the, perfect temperature and other things. When people, talking, abusing you or other things, to endure those things. But people have very little endurance ability. So these are called the defilements that should be given up by enduring. I mean, like getting angry when people are speaking unpleasant things to you, or the weather turns, and it was a nice perfect day, and all of a sudden thunderstorms come up, or your plans change. People, they let you down. Depending on others, they let you down, and you might get angry or upset. There's so many ways that we easily get upset about things. So that defilement given up by enduring will help you to, help with these other aspects too. And then defilements given up by avoiding. So especially avoiding places that would stimulate your defilements, as I already mentioned. If you know you have attachment to pastries, for example, don't walk down a street where there's lots of bakery shops and so on. That might stimulate your desire. Or refrain from going to places where there's like maybe protest rallies where there might be some violence taking place, or avoiding, it says you can avoid a wild elephant. Well, of course, in America, you don't have to, probably not much chance of encountering wild elephants, but in Asia, a wild horse, a wild dog, a snake, a stump, thorny ground, pit, a cliff, anything that you easily get upset about, and try to avoid going to those places until you have developed yourself to a certain extent that contact with those places wouldn't cause the defilements to arise. So reflecting rationally, they avoid sitting on, going to, inappropriate neighborhoods, for example, bad friends, if you've been an alcoholic, you're on 12-step program, don't visit your friends who are still caught up in drinking and so on, or taking drugs, smoking pot, or, whatever you're trying to give up, avoid the kind of places or friends that may tempt you to get back into those habits. So that's what it means by avoiding those places. Again, if any questions come up to any of these, feel free to ask a question before we go on to another one. So then the defilements given up by dispelling. So we can read the definition of it. Let's take a person who, reflecting rationally, they don't tolerate the negative thoughts. They don't tolerate sensual or malicious or cruel thought that has arisen, but they give it up. They drive it out of their mind. That means they practice the right effort of replacing the negative thought with the opposite, wholesome type of thought and urges that arise. So but that you have to apply right understanding, you have to have right mindfulness, and you have to have right understanding, and then you have to right effort, the effort to abandon unwholesome states when they're arisen, and the effort to prevent them from arising, and the effort to let them go if they do arise. So it's really by the right effort of the Eightfold Path, that is the way we dispel or reject or overcome the negative thoughts and urges that are arising in the mind. And by there's another sutta called the Vitaka Santana Sutta. I think it's number 19 or 20 in Majjhima Nikaya, which are the 5 ways of dealing with distracting thoughts. So Buddha has given the teaching on that. So, but all these things are connected, having the patience and the restraint, but especially substituting the negative thoughts for the wholesome ones. Now the 7th of these ways of overcoming defilements is by developing. Now this is where the first one and the 7th one, they reconnect with each other. Because on a deeper level, developing means developing. If you're a Sotapanna, you develop to the stage of a once returner and a never returner, and the Arahant stage. But these stages are connected with those 10 fetters. So in the first of those defilements given up by seeing, when you attain the stream entry, but then you have all these other lifetimes or these stages to go. Attaining stream entry is only the first stage of development. And so you have to develop the 7 factors of enlightenment. So actually this 7th method, as you can read, it's about, it's when a person reflects and develops the factors of enlightenment, what they're called the awakening factors of mindfulness, investigation of Dhamma, energy, rapture, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity, which rely on concentration, fading away, cessation. So this 7th level means developing that loads. So in between the first way and the 7th way, all those other ones are the ways that help us to develop those factors of enlightenment, especially the enlightenment factor of mindfulness. That requires concentration to do that. And then the development of the vipassana, following the 4 foundations of mindfulness, these 7 factors of enlightenment. Those are, because again, they overcome and destroy the remaining 7 fetters. So to understand this sutra better, one needs to understand, it helps to understand the 10 fetters and the 4 stages of enlightenment. And I've given talks on those previously, and at some point I'll review them again, but you can go into the archives of my YouTube Dhamma talks, and you can find those, because I've covered them at least a couple of times. All these topics I've gone over several times, but they need to be repeated because people tend to forget. So now this the last part of the sutta Take a person who by seeing has given up the defilements should be given up by seeing. That means given up the three lower fetters of belief in a permanent self, doubts about the Dhamma, and attachment to rites and rituals. Because they see that really following the Noble Eightfold Path is the way to attain enlightenment, not circumambulating a sacred mountain or bathing in the Ganges River or something like that. Because these are some views that, some people have. So, by using, they've given up the defilements. It should be given up by using. That means you develop contentment with just simple clothes, simple food, lodgings, because that way you don't have to go out and work 3 jobs, to be able to go out to your favorite restaurants 3 times a week and spend hundreds of dollars on meals, or buy new clothes all the time. You can get your clothes from the Salvation Army, the thrift stores, it's about simplifying the life. The whole practice of Dhamma is basically, simplifying our life because it's gotten over too complicated. And that's what causes our defilements. That's how our defilements have grown and how they've become very difficult to overcome. Okay. So this is the way that we should try to understand, because these are the things that's limiting our ability to easily gain deep meditation when you sit down. Basically, the 5 hindrances are because of these the defilements that are still we keep on generating in the daily life. So that's what the Buddha said, and the monks approved what the Buddha said. Okay, anyway, I'm going to go back to stop sharing the screen now. And I can see if there's any golden hands arose. So does anybody have any comments or questions about that? So, you want to practice the 7th one, huh? Developing in our meditation period, right? So the practice of meditation is developing, hopefully trying to develop mindfulness and investigation of Dhamma and concentration. Okay, so if there's no other questions, then friends, let's take a few minutes break and then come back for some stretching and then our meditation practice.
Bhante, there's one question in the chat.
I think I already talked about that.
It's the second one.
Oh, it's the second one. Okay, you had a follow-up question. Could we say that one who knows and sees has awakened the awareness with mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom? This helps one to reach the first stage of enlightenment. One who sees is that seeing, yes, seeing with mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. But it's the attainment of the stream entry, which is the seeing. You've seen the cessation of ego consciousness, even if it's for a brief moment. And you've realized the Four Noble Truths, even if it was just a kind of a glimpse, and you'll never forget it. And that's what then helps you to then go on and keep developing the practice. So mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom absolutely helps one to reach that first level of seeing. Okay? Okay, friends, so let's go ahead and take a short break and come back in a few minutes. See you back in a few minutes.
Should I move?
Okay, friends, so try to stand straight. Relax your shoulders and arms at the sides. Gently close your eyes. Sort of mentally feel the outline of the standing body. You hold that outline of the standing body in the mind's eye. Begin some deep, slow breathing, the three-part breathing. Drawing the air from the lower lung up to the top. Hold the air in for 2 seconds. And slowly breathe out. Just developing this mindfulness. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Hold the breath a second. Breathing out, standing here and now. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, standing here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Now we're going to combine this breathing with these movements. You can open your eyes and observe me as I lead you through it. So on the next in-breath, raise the hands over the head, interlock your fingers, stretch the head back, stretch the arms up, stretch upward, and release the fingers. On the out-breath, arms back to the sides, feel the air go out. Again, in-breath. Stretch upwards, bend back a little bit. Feel the arch in the lower spine, feel the sensation. Out breath, feel the air go out as the arms come down. Once more, in. Stretch up, bend back a little more. Hold it a little longer. Out breath, feel the air go out. And relax. Just close your eyes. Feel the increased body sensation, life force vibration, especially in your hands or fingers. Feel clothing touching the skin. Just letting go of your thoughts. Keeping the mind in on the body. Remember standing, standing. And on the next in-breath, lift up on the balls of the feet while raising the hands over the head in this way. Face the hands toward each other and stretch up. And the out breath, come back down, arms to the sides, heels to the floor. Use the in-breath to help lift up the body. Stretch. Out. Let the air go out. Once more, in. Stretch. relax. Close the eyes. Feel the outline of the body, the head on top, arms at the side, clothing touching the skin, feet pressing the floor. Let your thoughts come and go in the back of the mind. Keep a standing, breathing body in front of the awareness. Next we'll do side bending. So on an in-breath, raise both arms up. And keep your fingers and arms straight, close to your head. On the out-breath, bend over your right side as far as you comfortably can. Feel the stretch in the side. Keep the arms parallel to each other like railroad track. In-breath, lift up. And the other side, out-breath. In-breath, up. Again to the right, out-breath. Feel the sensation, in-breath. Once more to each side. On the out-breath, lower both arms. Feel the air go out. Relax. Keep feeling the body. Don't give the mind time to get lost in thoughts. The body is always here, right now. Here and now. One inch beneath your nose. 100 or more pounds of flesh and bone, billions of cells. No need to think about other things. Next we'll do the knee bending or squatting. On the in-breath, lift up on the balls of the feet while raising the arms up front for balance. And on the out-breath, bend the knees and lower the body down, coming down into the squatting position, balancing on the balls of the feet. And breathe in, feel the muscles in the legs, pushing the body up on the toes. In out breath. In. Out. In. Relax the out breath. Feel the increased heartbeat. Feel the outline of the body. Letting go of your thoughts. Okay, now spread your legs and feet about 3 feet apart. We'll do the lateral twisting of the spine, holding the arms out to the side. We'll breathe in. On the out breath, twist to the right. Keep your eyes focused on the hand going back. And the in breath, come back to the front. Let your feet turn with the body, then twist to the other side with the next out breath. In breath, front. Keep alternating the sides with the breathing. Out breath. In. Out. In. Once more to each side. Relax. Feel each foot pressing the floor. Feel the arms and hands hanging at the side. Feel the clothing touching the skin. Feel the head balanced on top. Feel the eyes in the socket. Just this body exactly as it is, here and now. Present moment, body-centered awareness. Now place the hands together at the chest. On the in-breath, the hands over the head. On the out-breath, lower the hands to the chest, bend the knees and lower down. And keep your back upright. Feel the stretch in the knees and hips. In-breath, push all the way up. Second time, try to come down a little more. In. Third time. In. The out breath, arms to the sides, relax. Keep feeling the body. Practice enduring if there's any pains or tiredness. Okay, now bring your legs back together. Now we'll do the head turning from right to left. On the in-breath, turn the head to the right, as far as you comfortably can. Try to look over your right shoulder. Feel the sensations in the neck. In the out-breath, turn the head all the way back to the left. Look over the left shoulder. In-breath, back to the right. Out-breath, left. Once more to each side. On the in-breath, let the head stop in the middle, feeling the whole body. We're going to do one last exercise. Backward and forward bending. Just be careful with the back bends. Don't bend back too far the first time. So turn the palms out, facing outward, so that your little fingers touch together. And on the in-breath, raise the hands up level to your eyes. And begin spreading the arms out to the sides as you bend back on the out-breath. Look up at the ceiling. Feel the arch in the spine. And carefully lift up on the in-breath, keeping the arms out at the sides. And on the out-breath, lower the arms and hands down and bend forward and downward. Do the downward stretch. Try to keep your legs straight. Let the little bones in the lower spine stretch out. And begin lifting up. Turn the palms outward again. In breath. Out breath, back bend. In breath, lift up. The out breath, downward stretch. Once more, in, out. In. The third time, try to hold the downward stretch longer. Let the little bones in the lower spine stretch out. Keep the legs straight. Feel all those stretch sensations. And begin lifting up. Breathe in, bring the hands together at the chest. Out breath, hands to the sides. Feel the whole body vibrating, pulsating with activated life force. All those billions of cells in the body have been charged up. Healing life force being the oxygenated blood. Imagine those subtle vibrations, the healing energy permeating, suffusing all the cells and tissues of the body, mind, nervous system, allowing the awareness to just rest in the middle, the present moment. Feel as though the body was, you were standing on a vibrating machine, feeling all those vibrations from the soles of the feet up to the top of the head. This present moment, body-centered awareness, natural awareness. Deeper stage of seeing, seeing deeper into the body, subtler vibration. Okay, so now let's come back to our seats, get ready for the sitting.
It was very good song, Bhante. Yeah.
So get comfortable in your sitting posture. And just sit straight, align the back of your head and spine in a straight line. Just keep your chin lifted up, level with the floor. Just gently close your eyes. Just feel your head balanced on top of the neck. Feel your eyes resting in the sockets. Feel your eyelids stretched over the eyeballs. Just try to imagine yourself sitting like a Buddha statue. Try to hold that outline of the sitting body in the mind's eye. Then begin some deep, slow breathing like we did during the yoga. Take 2 or 3 seconds to draw the air from the lower lung up to the top. Hold the air in for 2 seconds. And slowly breathe out, feeling the last bit of air go out. Just take several more deep, slow breaths like that. Developing this mindfulness of breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Hold the breath a second. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Now we're going to count the breaths from 1 to 10. Develop a more continuous concentration on the breathing. I'll do the counting for you. Just try to follow that with your breathing and concentration. So at the next expanding in breath, mentally count to 1. Hold the breath a second. And with the contracting out breath, also count to 1. Feel the last bit of air go out. And the next in breath, 2. Out breath, 2. In 3. Out 3. In 4. Out 4. In 5. Out 5. In 6. out 6, in 7, out 7, in 8, out 8, in 9, out 9, in 10, out 10. Now as the breath goes out, don't try to control the breath anymore. Just let there be a little pause. Just allow the breath to come back in under its own power. But continue to feel it. Keep your attention focused in the abdominal stomach area, rib cage or chest. Feel the subtler or shorter expanding and contracting sensation. Try to feel where the clothing is rubbing against the skin of the stomach, rib cage or chest. Make that be your primary focus of mindful attention. Just knowing when the breath is coming in and knowing when the breath is going out. Know it by feeling it. We might feel the air moving through the nostrils, whichever place helps you to stay more awake. Just letting your thoughts come and go in the back of the mind. Keeping the sensations of the breathing body in the front of the awareness. Try to be like a scientist looking down through a microscope, observing an experiment. Just looking down the eye of awareness. Feel the subtle movements of expanding and contracting. Just tuning into the 4 phases of each breath cycle. The expanding in breath and the brief pause. Contracting out breath and the brief pause. Just over and over and over again. They help remember and stay focused. You can use these mental reminders in sitting, out, out, sitting, in sitting, out, out, sitting. It's the ongoing connection to the present moment. This breathing body is the natural connection. The present moment awareness. And the brief pauses between the breaths, feel the outline of the sitting body. In sitting, out, out, sitting, breath by breath, moment by moment. Be alert for thoughts trying to sneak in, steal your attention away. You still have lots of thoughts or distractions. Try counting the breaths again from by yourself from 1 to 10. See if you can make it to 10 breaths without the mind either going to sleep or getting carried away in thought. Stay awake, alert, breath by breath, moment by moment. Enduring any itches or pains that might arise. Restraining the mind from getting carried away in various negative thoughts. From time to time, take a few deep, slow breaths. Help keep the mind awake, centered in the body. Checking the posture, keep the chin lifted up level. If the spine is slouching, mindfully straighten up. If you catch the mind lost in thoughts, recognize it as lost. Take a deep, slow breath, bring the mind back into the body. Back to in, sitting, out, sitting. You have good concentration, gradually opening up to the flow of impermanence. Feel this breathing within the larger sitting body. Being aware of other sensations coming and going, in and through that breathing body awareness. Being aware of thoughts coming and going in the back of the mind. That's development by seeing impermanent. Breathing in, sitting. Breathing out, sitting. So many different sensations coming and going. Pleasure or pain come and go. Sounds come and go. Perceptions, thoughts, ideas come and go. Thoughts of I, me, or mine come and go. These are all just a continuous flow of five aggregates arising and vanishing due to condition. They're all just coming and going through this breathing body awareness. That's the development of seeing. You have good awareness and concentration, clearly seeing the moment to moment arising and vanishing sensation, sounds, thought, and just become like an empty house with nobody home to answer the call, knocking on the doors and windows. But there's a sensitive microphone in the house that knows but doesn't know. It's the present moment awareness. And now let's spend the last couple minutes of the meditation by cultivating thoughts of friendliness, kindness, best wishes, or metta to ourselves and all other beings. So again, let's begin taking some deep, slow breaths as you breathe in, holding the air in the lungs for several seconds. Just try to feel that oxygenated blood going out to feed all the cells of the body. Just imagine that as sending metta to the cells of your body, while cultivating this train of thought. May I be well, peaceful, and wise. May I be free from the self-created pains and sufferings of body and mind through unskillful thought, speech, and actions. May I have the patience, strength, mindfulness, and wisdom to meet and overcome all difficulties in life. May I be able to continue to deepen my understanding of the Dhamma through the practice of meditation and the Eightfold Path. May I be well, peaceful, and wise. And with each out breath, just imagine sending these same kind of metta thoughts to anybody, any members of your family, or roommates, or relatives, good friends, parents, people that you see every day in different places, ordinary folks, struggling to make ends meet, desiring happiness and encountering all kinds of self-created sufferings. May all of them be well, happy, and peaceful, free from greed, hatred, fear, and ignorance, free from the self-created pains and sufferings of body and mind brought about by their unskillful thought, speech, and action. And may all beings have the patience, strength, mindfulness, and wisdom to meet and overcome all difficulties in life. Again, with each out breath, just imagine these metta vibrations going across all the oceans, to all the continents and beyond, surround the whole earth with these cloud of warm cloud vibrations of metta. The idea that may all living beings, wherever they might be, rich or the poor, strong or the weak, famous or the obscure, those with power, those without power, may all living beings be well, happy, and peaceful, free from greed, hatred, fear, and ignorance, free from self-created pains and sufferings of body and mind due to their unskillful thought, speech, and actions. May all beings have the opportunity to hear the mind-healing teachings of the Dhamma and to learn and practice meditation to free their minds from confusion and suffering. May all beings be well, peaceful, and wise. May all beings be well, peaceful, and wise. It's like a mantra reverberating throughout space. Well, peaceful and wise. Now I invite you to join in chanting the word sadhu 3 times slowly. Finish the meditation, we do that chanting on a long out breath. Feel those vibrations in the body and mind. So take a deep breath. Sadhu. Breathe. Sadhu. Breathe. Sadhu. Now place your hands at the edge of your knees. Take one more deep breath as you breathe in. Stretch your head back and pull the hands against your knees to arch the spine backward. And let out the breath. On an in-breath, lift the head up, and on an out-breath, press the chin to the top of the chest to stretch the neck vertebrae. Lift the chin up level on an in-breath, and relax on the out-breath. Put a smile on your face. Okay, friends, so this brings our evening Dhamma discussion and meditation practice to an end. And again, as I say, mindfulness should never end. And try to reflect on those different ways of letting go of defilements during the week, by enduring unpleasant things, by avoiding certain types of situations that excite the mind. Practice the M&Ms, stopping every hour during the day to take a few deep breaths, come back to the present moment. So during the week, be well, be peaceful, be mindful, be wise. Namo Buddhaya. Perhaps see you again next week. I'll send out the topic for next week's
Thank you, Bhante.
discussion, hopefully on Monday. Okay, this weekend's Memorial Day. If anybody lives near the Lion of Wisdom Center, if it's not raining, we hope to have a bonfire on Sunday evening, an outdoor meditation, a bonfire if it doesn't rain. Everything's impermanent. Okay, friends.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you,
again.
Bhante, so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Night.
Mindfulness today keeps dukkha away.
Thank you.